Hello everybody and welcome to 100 Days of Hardcore Minecraft 1.17 edition. In this video I end up exploring the new caves and even make my own zoo, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. Before this video begins, over 98% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so let's try and change that. Thank you and enjoy the video. P.S. The cinematics aren't recorded during the playthrough, they're recorded after, so certain things might be inaccurate. Day 1. I spawned in a spruce forest, which was good because it was probably my favourite biome. I also got very lucky because I spawned right next to a pillager outpost. I went straight inside to try and loot it before any of them spawned. I didn't end up finding much, which was unfortunate. I reached the top of the tower and off in the distance I spotted a village. I desperately needed food since you can die from starvation in hardcore, so I set to work gathering crops. I went on an exploration after this. I came across a really cool looking mountain. It'd be a great place to live, so I started mining it out. Day 2. I found a cave that was inside of the mountain. I started mining out space for chests, but then realised it'd be quite a cool design to keep the water, so I worked around it. I made a strange walkway design, but I liked it, so I thought it'd stay. Next thing I needed was a supply of materials, so I headed down to the ravine I found. The new 1.17 caves looked incredible, so I stood for a while, in awe. Day 3. I had better tools at this point, but I needed a lot more wood, so I set to work chopping down trees for the house. I wanted to keep up the cave aesthetic, so I just added logs to the corners, so it looked like it was just keeping the ceiling up. I also crafted my own bed, so I won't have to steal one from the village each night. Day 4. I needed a front on the house, so at this point I just went to go for a full log design. I needed some glass, so I found a nearby beach, and well, after that, there was no longer a beach. It didn't take long for it to smelt, but I put in the front windows after that. I actually quite liked the design of the house, it contrasted the mountain really well. I headed back into the mine to try and get some iron and coal. The new ore, copper, turns out you only need 4 to make it into a block. I don't know if this was intentional, but it's quite a cool design because you need a lot of it if you want to make something out of it. I was planning on going on a big mining session tomorrow, so I needed new tools in order to do that. Day 6. I worked on making a mine shaft so it'd be something that would look nicer than just a hole in the ground. I headed my way down to Y11. Turns out you can actually go a lot deeper than that. You can actually go to negative Y coordinates now. This is where the new stone spawns, and well, the cool looking caves. Day 7. I decided to brave the new dark caves. Luckily there wasn't many mobs down there. Turns out diamonds aren't very rare anymore, but usually they don't spawn in large amounts. I ventured on through the cave and found out the stone blocks that spawn down there are actually silverfish blocks, so don't touch them. Day 8. I used my diamonds that I got yesterday to upgrade my tools and invest in a better chestplate. I still needed food, so I headed back to the village to grab theirs. But I did need my own source of food, so I set up my own wheat farm. I set it up on the land in front of my house, and by the time it finished, it was dark. Day 9. I decided it would be a great idea to have a cow farm as well as a wheat farm. I started by clearing some land in front of my house next to the wheat farm. I then set up a pen for the cows. Day 10. Surprisingly I need cows for a cow pen, so I decided to go get some from a nearby field. The nearby village was really overgrown and messy, so I set to work trying to clear it up. I grabbed some more coal today as well because I wanted to smelt some cobblestone. Day 11. I carried on making the village look nice today. It took me a while to chop down the excessive trees and clear the path. As well as this, I covered over a hole in the village so I wouldn't end up losing any villagers down it. Day 12. Today was the final day of improving the village. I needed stairs in certain areas for better access to different parts. As well as this, I renovated some of the path in the area. I also thought it'd be cool to add a dock for the village. It'd be pretty much pointless, but it was the same as the tunnel, so it looked cool, so I set to work. It's a simple design, but it works, so there's not really any harm to it. Day 13. Today, I started by grabbing some wheat to breed the cows. I also wanted to set up another building in the mountain. This one would be for storage. I'll follow the same rough design as the first house. It'd be cool if I had loads of them, and then connected them by a path. Day 14. I added some extra details to the new house, but I didn't really need it yet, so it lay barren for the moment. This was things such as windows and a door. Well, I did add some chests that I could use for storage in the future. The final thing I did for the day was set up a sugarcane farm. This would help supply the materials needed for the enchanting table. Day 15. I've still yet to go to the nether, so I headed down to the mine to get some obsidian. I was struggling to find a lot of lava in one place, so I had to mine single blocks. I'm guessing they must have made it rare in the new update. Day 16. I did end up finding a lava pool today. This was miles easier with a way to collect obsidian. Whilst I was down here, I also grabbed some redstone. And by the end of the day, I finally managed to make the portal. I didn't adventure in though, that was for another day. Day 17. Today was that day. I was going to the nether. I wanted to gather some quartz. I don't know why, I just think it's a really cool looking block. I didn't find a lot in the nether and headed back to the overworld. I was running really low on food, so I had to expand the wheat farm. I didn't expand it much, but if this meant one more bread a day, I'd probably end up surviving. Day 18. I decided that I needed a better way to get from the house to the village, so I decided to mine out a tunnel. The tunnel was really basic at this point, but I wanted to use some of the new stone that I got to make it look nicer. I also wanted a security wall around the village, so hopefully, if I do raids, it'll be easier. Day 19. My plan for the wall was really basic, but I needed a ton of stone and fences for it. I started terraforming the nearby area so I could fit the wall around the village. I started making the wall. I liked the design, I copied it from the Yogscast. There was a few obstacles I had to overcome, such as this little valley, but it wasn't too much hassle, I had a lot of dirt. Day 20. I decided to go back to the Stone Age and hunt for fish in the ocean at the start of the day. Not a lot of interesting stuff happened today, I just carried on working on the wall. I did attend a party, but I don't think I was particularly welcomed because they ended up leaving straight away as soon as I joined. Day 21. Today started by breeding the cows. And the rest of the day was just spent building the wall again. Oh, and I also sorted out some of the path. Day 22. I decided that I'd improve the look of the farms today to be more efficient. I didn't really feel like making anything automatic. Just as long as I did everything on a large scale, I wouldn't have to. I planted some potatoes in the new farm. I don't know, something a bit different. Day 23. The first thing I did today was smooth out some of the land on the village so it'd be easier to traverse. I also moved one of the houses in the village, so I'd make more space and it wouldn't be as cramped as it was before. In the house, the copper was slowly eroding and turning into a nice blue colour. This is why I left it out. Day 24. Today was a really basic day. I just went mining. I ended up coming across another cave. I lit it up with torches and just got a few materials. Day 25. I upgraded the look of the tunnel today and added some polished deep slate to it. I went with a sewer design. I actually really liked it. I thought it would look good. And when I finished it, it'll be great. Day 26. Today I went on a long adventure around the surrounding areas to try and find if there's any more villages or other naturally spawning items. I didn't end up finding a whole lot apart from a dark oak biome, which was cool. I might come back in the future days for a wood. Comment what your favourite wood is. Day 27. Today I decided to head in the other direction than I did yesterday in a boat. I also found a massive group of llamas. Don't know what they were doing, but they were chilling. I actually found some overground emeralds. I'm not sure if this is rare, but it was cool to see. I'm in a mountain biome. I also grabbed some coal as well, because it was easy. Day 28. I did a bit of work on the tunnel today. I did end up running out of deep slate, so I headed to the mine to get some more. I headed back to the surface after I got enough. I finished the tunnel for the moment. It doesn't look incredible, but there's always something else to do. Day 29. I added some more copper to the collection on the wall. The other bits were eroding, but very slowly. I also finished the wall today, so it surrounded the whole village now. Day 30. Today, the farms had grown a lot, so I needed to sort them out. I now had a fair bit of food going around. And yet again, I went back to the tunnel to try and improve the look. I added a deep slate roof to it. It actually looked quite nice by now. Day 31. I headed to the nether again today. I wanted to grab some glowstone so I could craft some redstone lamps and put inside the tunnel. I gathered a lot, so hopefully I won't have to come back and get any more soon. This was another great addition to the tunnel. Day 32. I was still in need of better armour, so I headed down to the mine to try and find some more diamonds. I ended up finding a large cave. It had a lot of diamond pockets, but they only had 1 or 2 diamonds each, so I didn't end up finding a lot. A skeleton also dropped me a very good bow. Well, to say it was dropped from a skeleton, it was quite a good bow. Day 33. I was in need of some leather. I went to visit some horses. They just gave me some leather. When I was looking for some more horses and cows, I came across a bamboo forest. and some pandas. This was really cool. I ended the day by getting my own dog. Day 34. I did have a ton of leather at this point, but I was a little bit short, so I killed some of my cows to get the rest. I'm not great at naming things, so I want you guys to name my dog. Most liked comment will get pinned, and will be the dog's name for the 200 day video, if this one does well. The next thing I did was set up a bridge, so it was easy to cross the river. The Battle of 35. This was not a good decision by me. I thought I'd be fine since I've done level 1 raids before, on normal mode, but I did end up having better gear than I did now. The first few waves went alright, I didn't struggle at all. Wave 2 went as easy as the first one did. However, day 3 brought one of these big guys, and it was very broken. It could just hit me through walls when it shouldn't be. So I eventually brought it down, but it took a while. Wave 4 was, again, perfectly fine. There wasn't anything special going on. Wave 5 was another one of these guys, but again, I eventually got there. However, Wave 6 didn't go particularly well, because they ended up spawning inside the walls, which wasn't part of my plan. I ran away. Just to show you, this is how hard they are to kill. They will almost two-shot you. We sat there for a while, and the raid disappeared because I think I took too long. Day 38. The fight was finally over today, and there was a lot of damage done. Not only to the land, but there was only one villager left inside the walls. I went to visit the house on the outskirts of the village, hoping the homeowner was still alive. But what I found wasn't what I expected. He was still alive, but really far into the ravine. I baited him back to the village with bread, but it would take a long time to repopulate. Day 39. Today I finally wanted to set up the enchantments, so I headed to the mine to try and get some obsidian for it. I gathered enough and headed back. I crafted the enchanting table, however I did need somewhere for it to live, so I was planning on making a new house. Day 40. I did a bit of experimenting, and turns out you can actually smelt tools. It's definitely not worth doing, but it was something cool I didn't know you could do. Let me know if you knew we could do this. I also set to work on the new area, and worked hard into the night. This would be a dedicated enchanting room. Day 41. By today, it was almost complete, and the new area had only a few things left, such as windows and more bookshelves. I did my first enchantment and enchanted my pickaxe because it's like the best thing you can do first. Day 42. I headed down to the mine today to gather some XP so I can start enchanting more of my tools. I found a massive cave that I lit up with torches. It looked insane all lit up, and I explored the cave and came across a bunch of diamonds. Again, they weren't in large amounts unfortunately. Day 43. I'd finally got my full set of diamond armour at this point, so if the raiders come back, I might have stand more of a chance. The villager breeder didn't seem to be working very well. As well as this, I set up a small farm, so I can start getting more wheat to breed the villagers. Since a few days ago I've discovered a bamboo forest, I wanted to set up a zoo because I've never had pet pandas before, so I cleared out an area for this. Day 44. Today was spent pretty much flattening the earth, in order to set up the cages for more animals. I also started measuring out the cages for the animals. It was a pretty boring day. Day 45. I carried on working on the cages, and I had a good design. I wasn't sure what to put in them yet, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have a wolf army or a fox army. I also wanted to make a main office, like a ticket office for the place for the zookeeper to live. Day 46. I carried on with the zookeeper's house today, and it was looking good. It was only need to be basic. I decided that I would move the cows somewhere else, probably to the village, to free up some space over near my house. Day 47. Finally, the village population was expanding. I also added some beds so it would keep growing. I set up pens inside the villages for the farm animals and started moving the cows over. Day 49. I needed another sheep from the wild, so I ventured out to try and find him and brought him back. I also cleared away the old farm for space. Day 49. I started setting up the panda cage today. It was looking alright, but it would be better with stairs. Wait, what? That happened? Okay. And yet again, I added more beds to the villager breeder. Day 50, the halfway mark. Today I set off to the jungle to try and fetch some parrots as part of the zoo. I ended up finding a few and tamed them. It took a lot of seeds though. Luckily I had a ton from the village. The next thing I wanted to do was try and find a panda. Day 51, I spent the night in the forest when I was hunting for the panda. I also discovered a temple which was really cool. I ventured inside and realised that I'm really dumb and couldn't figure out the code. So I decided to just break down the door and loot the chest instead. I eventually found a panda. I got him in a boat so I could bring him home with me. Day 52. Today was a full day of bringing the panda home. I passed a witch's hut, which is quite cool. I didn't see that on the way. Day 53. I finally got the panda home after a long day of travelling. I decided to make the panda's enclosure look better for him, so he wouldn't have to be living in a pit. I actually really like this design. I'm sure he'll love it. Day 54. I was preparing to move the panda into his new house when I got snuck up on. I somehow didn't die, but I'll take it. After that, I got the panda moved in. I started adding paths around the zoo to make the place look nicer. I also spent a while mining some of the tunnel. I wasn't sure I really like this design. I'll probably end up changing it in the future. Day 55. I wanted to fetch another panda today to add to the enclosure. It would take a while because I wanted to make paths so it'd be a lot easier to get back. Day 56. I found a few more parrots today when exploring for a panda. I struggled to find a panda, but there was a lot of parrots about. Day 57. I finally found a panda today and started heading home. I got him home by the night because I set up all the paths. Day 58. I finally got them inside the enclosure and let them do their thing, and a baby panda appeared. I decided to try and get some more XP and headed to the nether to try and grab some quartz. I got enough to be level 30 and headed back. Day 59. Another panda had joined the family today, which was good. The family was slowly expanding. I also wanted to try and get a mending villager so I could get an enchantment so I wouldn't have to worry about the diamonds to repair the tools. When heading down the mine, I heard a bunch of zombies and thought, this might be a spawner. And turns out it was. Day 60. I started doing an enchantment today so I could slowly upgrade my armory. I spent the rest of the day mining out a spawner. Day 61. By now, the spawner was working. All I had to do was make it look nicer. I really like the look of chainmail, and I wanted to make a full armor stand of it. This would be a great way of getting it because it's quite a common drop from zombies. I did another enchantment from all the XP I got from selling the zombies. Day 62. Today I got another piece of the chainmail collection. It was coming along well. Whilst waiting for zombies to spawn, I decided to make the room look better. I like the look. It was quite a simple design, but it was quite nice. Day 63. Today I started by enchanting another tool. It was a very simple day today. I was just getting XP and enchanting stuff. Day 64. Today I wanted to try and finally utilise some of the villagers I had in the village. I also probably found one of the best horses you can naturally find. It was quick, jumped high, and had high HP. I went on a quick test run with my horse around the surrounding area. I found a flower biome and made some epic jumps. When headed back home, I came across another village. This was as close to spawn as the other one was. It was just in the opposite direction. Day 65. I spent the last night in the village and spent the full day adventuring inside the houses and grabbing all the loot from around the village. Day 66. I decided to make a long path that I could ride my horse down so it'd be easy to travel between the two villages. I'm not sure what I'd use the new village for, but I'd eventually find something to do with it. I could use the village for raids, that'd be quite a good use. Day 67. I carried on with the tunnel today. Didn't really do a lot else. It's quite a boring day. Day 68. I decided to make a place for the horse to live when it was at the other village, so I made a small train station little thing. It was really simplistic, but I liked the design. I also added a trim all the way down the path, but you guys don't want to see that. Day 69. I finished off the train station today and headed home. The journey takes about 2 minutes-ish. When arriving home, I decided to get mending on a villager. I eventually got it, but it was really expensive, so I thought I might leave it and get it another time. Day 70. I spent a while figuring out the best way to get emeralds. I didn't want a ton, so I just decided to set up a largest sugarcane farm. I could get emeralds from this by turning it into paper and trading it with villagers. I sheared a lot of sheep as well today. I was collecting wool to try and craft beds in order to go netherite hunting. Day 71. I went back to the XP farm today because I wanted to at least chant all my tools before I put mending on stuff. I did this and only needed mending on my armour now. It didn't have incredible enchants, but they were about to break. Day 72. Today I wanted to expand the zoo and included more animals into the family. This was basically a way of wasting time so the sugarcane could grow. I wanted some llamas, so I decided to tear down the old cages and turn it into one big one. I ran into a slight problem though because I wanted the cage to be like a pit like the panda one was, but the tunnel was in the way so I'd have to move the whole thing to the right. Day 73. I carried on working on the llama's pen today. I tore the whole thing down and rebuilt it a few blocks to the right. I wasn't sure how to tame llamas so I did some research and turns out you can ride them if you use a carpet instead of a saddle. The sugarcane was growing well today so I harvested some. Day 74. So it turns out you can't actually ride lambs or even move them. You can breed them with wheat though. This is going to be harder than I thought it would be. I tried to also get mending again today and tried to get it cheaper. I ended up getting it for a lot cheaper than before, almost half. I also traded with him so it would be locked in this time. Day 75. I was in desperate need for materials and it would be a great way to fill in the time while I waited for the sugarcane to grow. I grabbed some basic materials like iron and coal. This is just an appreciation part of how good the caves now look. Day 76. Today I decided to finally upgrade my tools by gathering some netherite in the nether. I came across a massive lava pool, so I went on the wrong way. I went to visit the sheep to give them a shearing, so I could craft some beds and head to the nether. I ended up finding quite a lot of ancient debris. Day 77. I returned back from the nether today. I ended up gathering a lot of netherite. I still needed a lot more to max out my armour though. I also finally decided to set up a proper way of making emeralds. By trading glass panes with a cartographer, but I needed a lot more of them. Day 78. I decided to get more XP today so I could start getting some good tools and upgrade to netherite. When I was waiting I decided to make easier access to visit the mob spawner since it was close to the base. I also got some more chainmail to add to the collection. Day 79. I finally traded with the cartographer to get enough emeralds to be able to afford the mending books. I did end up losing my helmet. I'm not sure where it was, but it was really low durability because I wanted to put mending on it. Turns out I left it in the nether, so I put mending on it and wore it so I wouldn't lose it again. Day 80. I cleared out one of the old pumpkin farms in the village today. I wanted some space so I could set up a proper villager breeder. I also wanted to finally use the storage room since I built it in like day 15. I grabbed some clay so I could make some plant pots. Day 81. I carried on working on sorting out the storage. I had a lot of items as it turns out. Day 82. I finally finished it all today. It took a long time, and my plan for the next few days was to make it look good. By this point, a lot of sugarcane had grown, so I could trade with the villagers to get emeralds. This would be so I could get more mending books, obviously. I also set up another glassman today, so I could slowly expand the family. Day 83. I added mending to my chestplate, so it was easily the best thing I own now. I also upgraded it to netherite. I carried on making the storage room look better. I followed a simple design, quite similar to the main house, and I actually really liked it, so I duplicated it for the enchanting room as well. Day 84, a nearby stalker delivered some villagers. I also got another mending book today. I was slowly raking them in. I headed down to the spawner so I could repair all my armour. It was a boring rest of the day. Day 85, there's a lot of empty space in the old house now since I moved all the chests out, so my plan is to improve the look. It looks really nice in here, like an old castle's master bedroom. Day 86. I finally wanted to fix the tunnel. If you can't tell, I've been trying to make everything look nicer in the last part of the video. I added some deep slits to the side of the tunnel. This is probably my favourite Minecraft world I've had. Day 87. I did need a bit more deep slit in order to finish the tunnel completely, so I grabbed some more and finished off the tunnel. I needed a load of wood for the next few mini projects I had, so I grabbed an axe and cleared out an area but far away from the village. Day 88. I really wanted this part of the world to be a dense forest with plants growing and mini campsites. But first I wanted to make a beach. Well, there's no reason for it, it just looked quite cool. It was a small beach because I'm the only resident on the island, but if you want to live here too, there'll be a map download in the description because a lot of you requested it in the past 2 videos. Day 89. When this forest grows it'll look good and be a great addition to the island. I decided to add a small river and a bridge. This was becoming one of my favourite parts of the whole place. It just looks so nice. I was feeling brave so I decided to spend the night in the campsite. Day 90. I made a small wall next to the side of the ticket office so people can't just walk into the zoo without paying. As well as this, I added torches around the area so less mobs would spawn. I also improved the look of the area. I actually really like this. It looks quite nice. Day 91. I decided today I should probably bring the parrots home. They've been in the swamp for almost 40 days now. I had to run back so they wouldn't get stuck. I set up a small cage in the zoo for the parrots to live. It wasn't anything special, but it would do. They don't need a lot of space. Day 92. I also decided to fetch the llamas. I would boat them over and just push them into the pen, since I couldn't actually ride them. I made a really strange path for the llamas, and got one in, and then eventually got the second one in as well. I also moved my unnamed dog. Remember, put your suggestions in the comments, and the most liked one will be pinned. Day 93. I had enough emeralds to get another mending book today. Alright, I did a really stupid thing, and I went to put a second mending book on my pickaxe. I'm actually really annoyed, because that was 25 emeralds I won't get back. Day 94. I needed some sand at this point to get some glass to trade for emeralds. I also grabbed a lot of birch wood for a new project I wanted to do. Day 95. The new project was to try and make the staircase down to the spawner look nice. I went with a really weird design, but I actually sort of liked it. It was odd, but it worked quite well. Day 96. I did some lights to the design, and it was looking alright. It was a very weird thing, but it was something different, so it'd be fine for now. Day 97. I wanted to make some cakes, because obviously we need cakes for day 100. Is it really a fatal video without cake? However, I did need equipment for the fireworks show, so I headed down to the mine to gather some redstone for it. Day 98. I found the stuff to bake 2 cakes. I didn't have a chicken farm, so I didn't have many eggs. I also set up a map. I got these maps from the village in day 1. I thought it'd be a good addition to the chest room. I also started setting up the fireworks today. I needed a lot of repeaters, so I could set it up properly. Day 99. I finally crafted all the repeaters I needed, and set up the emergency button inside the ticket office. There was obviously one thing missing, and that was fireworks. I didn't have a lot of supplies, so I went for the basic ones. Day 100. Obviously the first thing I did was go and give cake to everyone. The pandas also wanted to eat, so I fed them some bamboo. I left some cake by the zookeeper's shed, so if anyone wants to come get some, they can. But of course, the main thing about day 100 is the fireworks show. Thank you all for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe and leave a like. And I'll see you guys in the next video.